Hey, what's up, my friends? Todd Falcone here. Welcome to toddfalcone.com. Hope you're having an amazing day. So, all right. So it's been a bit since I've done a post on rapport building. I just did a Facebook Live on the subject of it. Getting ready to do another training, wrapping the whole idea of rapport building and connecting into the subject matter of that training. I figured it'd be good to do a quick video post, just going back to the fundamentals or the basics of rapport building. I think if you are in any kind of sales, if you're involved in network marketing, you do need to be purposeful around the idea of rapport building. You need to have an understanding of what it takes to build rapport, to create a connection with someone. If you don't know, rapport is really a state of alignment, of trust, a feeling of being comfortable with another person. It's like I feel good engaging in conversation with you. I feel like in a state of alignment with you. And based on the way I feel, it makes me more likely to want to do business with somebody because I feel good about you. And it goes back down to the basics of why most people buy. Certainly they have a need or desire or want, but typically a reason a person buys from someone is because I like you, I feel good about you, I trust you. And so what you want to be doing in your marketing, your business building efforts in sales, traditional sales or network marketing is doing everything that you can to develop a level of alignment with somebody and being more similar to that person. It can be, for example, it could be something as you're going to a meeting and or you're going to some kind of function. Probably be a good idea to find out ahead of time what the dress is. For example, like if they said it was business casual and you went to an event and you dressed in a tuxedo, you would essentially be out of a state of rapport with the individuals just based on how you're dressing because you're perceived as different in that kind of circumstance. Now that's a little bit extreme, but here's what I want. For the sake of this video, I just want to focus on a few things. Number one is when you're getting ready to sit down with someone or on the phone or in a meeting, you need to be present, using your ears, paying attention to and listening, really listening to how they sound. So a lot of your rapport, your ability to connect with somebody is going to be based on vocal stuff. So the speed at which somebody talks. If they talk really quickly, you would probably tend to speed up your pace. If they talk loud, you would talk loudly. If they talk softer, you would talk softer. So it's just, and this might seem, if this is totally new to you, you might think, well, that's kind of like being a copycat, like, oh, this person talks slow, I talk fast. It's not really. In fact, subtlety is key. In fact, you want to write that down. Subtlety is key when it comes to rapport building. Like if I was going to match and mirror your gestures, like you leaned back and I leaned back and you leaned forward and I leaned forward, if I did it at the exact same time. In fact, I caught somebody doing this recently. I was in a conversation with someone and they weren't subtle, and they were literally, as I was in conversation with them, even though they had been trained on how to build rapport by matching and mirroring gestures and vocal, like if I put my hand here, she would put her hand here, and if I scratch my ear, she would scratch her ear, and it was obvious, and I caught it. And then in that case, it takes you out of a state of rapport. So you got to be understanding that you're looking to be more like someone, more similar to that individual based on the way you're talking, the way you're sounding, your gestures, your speed, your tone, your pitch, all of that stuff. Those are a few items. So that's matching and mirroring. The second part of that is, and I think it's a great idea to do a little bit of homework ahead of time, if at all possible, so that when you're getting ready to meet somebody for the very first time, you know a little bit about them. You know maybe what some of their interests are, what their passions are before you sit down with them, so you can actually use some of these things to maybe talk about. Let's say that the person loves to ski, or they love to play golf, or they love to fish, or they love a particular band, or they love they love mountain biking, or whatever that activity is. It gives you an opportunity to create a connection with them because you have some prior knowledge of what that person's interest is. Now, I would warn you that getting into a conversation, for example, about golf, and you don't know anything about golf, and you're trying to navigate your way through a golf conversation, and you're like, hey, I hear that you play the game. Do you play the game of golf? Do you like that game very much? How are the golf courses treating you? That's probably not the kind of language you would use if you actually played golf. But I play golf, so if I was sitting there and I see a guy with his, picture of him and his foursome behind his desk, and I say, "Hey, I see you love to tee it. How long have you been playing golf?" "Well, I've been playing golf for 15 years." I go, "What's your index?" And now he would know what that is because that's a golf term that I'm familiar with. Whatever. I mean, I'm not going to go too, but just don't find yourself getting into a conversation that you can't work your way out of because you try to act like you knew something about it. The other thing is, like, do you know, like, for example, where they're from? Maybe you're from their hometown, or you lived or you visited in their hometown. Maybe there's things that you have in common that aren't necessarily activities that can give you something to converse about that will take the tension. And that's ultimately what rapport building does. It's like ice breaking. It's like taking the tension and reducing the tension in the shoulders and getting somebody to relax a little bit. That's really what you want to do in any kind of conversation or meeting, is do whatever you can to remove the frigidity or the tension that exists between you and this person as you're kind of getting to know someone. And this happens to us all the time when we're going out and meeting somebody for the very first time. You ever met somebody and you have nothing in common with them, and it's like, you're trying to get a conversation started and you just can't get it started because it's like you have nothing in common. And then you meet somebody, like I met somebody the other day when I was skiing with my wife, and he and I just hit it off because we had absolutely similar interests. And immediately it was like we were like kindred spirits within seconds because we found something that we could both communicate on. So you don't have to have that thing in common, but it's important for you to be aware of things that you can bring up in conversation, commonalities, common denominators, things that mutual interests. Maybe they have kids. Maybe they go to the same kind of church you do. Maybe they are from the same part of the country. Who knows? Maybe they have a similar work background, similar education. These are all things that can help you in developing rapport, which is something that you want to be legitimately focused on, because sometimes, rapport will happen all by itself sometimes, but if you're skilled at it and you know what to look for, listen for, feel for, where to navigate in the conversation, it's going to be actually a lot easier in helping you to generate trust with someone. Eye contact is very important as well. If you're constantly darting around and you can't even look at somebody, most people don't trust an individual that they feel cannot have good, solid eye contact with them. So that's something you need to be thinking about when you're communicating one-on-one with somebody, when you're actually sitting down and you're looking at them in the eyes, and that you do look at them in the eyes. And then the last thing I'll say for this video is listening. Okay, I mean, it doesn't go without saying because I'm saying it, but paying attention and really being present when you're sitting with someone. Like that phrase that if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably heard me say this: wherever you are, be there. Your presence is necessary. So if you're sitting down in a meeting, like I'm with you guys right now, I'm not distracted by other things that are going on in my office. I don't have a TV over here. I don't have a Twitter screen going off over here. I'm with you right now on this video. You're the most important thing to me at this moment in time, is this conversation that I'm having with you on video. So I'm totally focused on right here, right now. I don't have things going on. I don't have computer screens open and things flashing in front of my eyes, because I can't afford that kind of a distraction. Because if I lost you for a second, you might then tune out of this video because, oh, Todd was rambling in this video and not paying attention. Well, what if you were in a meeting and you were, somebody said something to you, and because you weren't totally present, they said something to you which was important to them, but you didn't pick up on it because you weren't totally present. And now they're like, oh my gosh, this person is acting like they care, but they really don't care. Therefore, I don't want to do business with them. So listening and being totally present is absolutely important in every situation that you're in, whether it's a first initial meeting with somebody that you're just getting to know or somebody that you've known for a long time, if you want to maintain that rapport. So that's it for today. Hope you're having an amazing day, whatever day this is for you. We'll see you on another video. Todd Falcone, thanks for watching.